Hello guys, my name is Amrish Yadav and today I'm going to talk about the physics optional in UPSC CSE for 2022 and 2023. Physics optional contains basically paper 1 and paper 2. Today I'm going to talk about the syllabus of physics optional. So in paper 1 there are basically 4 books. First is mechanics, second is electricity and magnetism, third is thermal and statistical physics, and fourth is wave optics. These are 4 books which are covered in the physics optional paper 1, and I will talk about the design of exam and the paper, how it is, questions, how questions are being presented. Like there are 8 questions, we have to solve 5 questions. First and fifth question is compulsory, and 3 we have to choose from either of part A or part B, and we have to choose at least one question from both the parts. So I will talk about that design later. Let's first uh, know about the UPSC syllabus of first book, that is mechanics. So mechanics in paper 1 contains basically the following topics, such as first topic is mechanics of particles. This is a broad topic. Under this there are a lot of small sections like laws of motion, like the laws of motion which was given by the Newton's first, second, third law, conservation of energy and momentum, application of rotating frames, centripetal and Coriolis acceleration, that is the outcome of rotating frames, motion under a central force, for example the motion of earth under the influence of the gravitational force of sun, conservation of angular momentum. Due to central nature of the force, there is no torque acting on the body. That's why there is a there is a conservation of angular momentum. This is a consequence of central force motion. Kepler's law, Kepler's first, second, and third law, that is the law of orbit and the law of equal aerial velocity, and then the third law, that is law of the time period. The next small topic under the mechanics of particles is field and potentials. Field and potentials due to spherical bodies, like gravitational field of earth and other spherical bodies. We generally consider earth as spherical for our for simplification of the calculation. Gauss and Poisson equation, gravitational self energy. These are all related topics with respect to the spherical bodies. Two body problem, like two body problem can be anything, like the earth and sun system and two star system. Anything can those which are attached with some kind of force interaction. So there is a concept of reduced mass in two body problem. Rutherford is scattering, which is very famous experiment of alpha particle being thrown onto the gold foil. That is the Rutherford scattering, and finding out the cross section area, and scattering, differential scattering cross section area. And by the consequence of that, we can definitely calculate the distance of closest approach and the size of nucleus and many more things. Center of mass and laboratory frame reference frames. The next section of the syllabus is the mechanics of rigid bodies, and in that section there are topics such as system of particles, like there are many particles, and definitely the definition of rigid body is very much evident that we must know the definition. The concept of center of mass again, angular momentum and equation of motion in case of rigid bodies, such as the Euler equation of motion, conservation theorem for energy, momentum, and angular momentum. So these are very evident topics. Elastic and inelastic collision. And the next subtopic under the rigid body is definition of rigid body, degrees of freedom, Euler theorem, that's what I was talking about, the Euler equation of motion, angular velocity, angular momentum, moment of inertia. This is very important because almost every year there is one question from moment of inertia. Next subtopic is theorems of parallel and perpendicular axis. This year there was a question from the parallel axis theorem. Equation of motion of rotation, molecular rotation, rigid bodies, two bodies, di and triatomic molecules, rotational motion, top gyroscope. These are the concepts under the rigid body. Next section under the mechanics is mechanics of continuous media. So under this, elasticity, Hooke's law, and elastic constant of isotropic solids, their interrelations. Streamline laminar flow, viscosity, Poiseuille equation, Bernoulli equation, Stokes law, and applications. I will talk about all of these topics separately in different videos. I have numbered these topics so that you can have the idea that how many topics are there in a particular book. I will give you the number at the end. Total topics. Now the fourth section in mechanics is the spatial theory of relativity, which contains subsections such as Michelson-Morley experiment and its application, Lorentz transformations, length contraction, time dilation, addition of relative velocities, aberration and Doppler effect, and mass energy relation. This year there was a question based on the mass energy relation. Simple application to a decay process, 4-dimensional momentum vector, covariance of equations of physics. If we talk about number of topics, then we can calculate the 14 in first in particle, and then in rigid body there are 19, 33, and continuous media there are 7, 40, and now 11. So there are total 51 topics in the book of mechanics. You can pause this video and look at the topics in carefully and have some idea about the syllabus of physics paper 1 first book, that is mechanics. Thank you.